Hello everybody, my StampinHeaven VIP group. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody is well. I am here to share a card. So as I create this card, I'll talk a little bit about the technique that I'm going to use. I'm going to try to straighten the camera just a tad. I don't want it to shake too much. I hate it when things aren't straight, so it's a little better. So, I read some of the comments, and y'all keep those comments coming on things that you want to see on here, because I am going to try to do this for the next week or however long this takes, just to break up the day a little bit. Hi, Pat. Thanks for joining. Hi, Lisa. I see you're watching too. Let me get this up on my iPad here and see if I can see comments as we go along. Let's see. How do I do this? Okay, here we go. Hey, Leslie, you gonna join us on your little lunch break too? I ate a ham sandwich really quick before I started. So anyway, our featured paper this month is the Yesterday and Today paper. Beautiful paper. If you love heritage scrapbooking, this is totally the paper for you. And it doesn't have to always be just used for heritage scrapbooking. I hear my voice coming out of the iPad. Let me turn my volume down. There we go. So I thought I would do a card with that, and in our book we have this card called Yesterday and Today Card Making, and it comes with, you can get just the stamp set or you can get the stamp and the thin cuts. Let me pull this out right here. So these are the thin cuts, and just in case you didn't know, when you're looking in the book, anytime you see a shaded image, that means that there is a coordinating thin cut for that stamp. So these are the thin cuts here, and this is the stamp. Move those aside. So I was looking through the book, I was trying to figure out what can I do. And when I decided I would do this, I was kind of looking at these cards, and I thought I would recreate this one, but maybe do my own version. So I just kind of use this as a guide, and then created, I'm going to create a card very similar to that. Let's see if, to be careful, make sure that I'm in the screen. So I'm going to set that aside. I went ahead and cut my papers, and I did a little couple of die cuts that I'll stamp here in just a second. I went ahead and did one. So these are the papers that I used. And let's see, that's the one with the writing on it. Then I have a piece of espresso cardstock. This piece here, I really like this piece. And I just kind of eyeballed the measurements. I think if you have been crafty long enough making cards and scrapbooking, you can kind of eyeball measurements yourself. So I wanted to add a little bit of color to all this brown and beige and tans. And so I decided I would use peach as an accent. So just kind of putting this together here, you can kind of see what that would look like. This is French vanilla. So you can see what French vanilla looks like against the white. There is a difference there. So, first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and stamp these other two flowers. And I will show you how I colored this one. I used one marker, the Tri-Blend marker that is Coral Blend. So there's 3 colors. And I'm going to stamp this in espresso ink. And most of the time, when you're coloring with markers, really it is best to use like intense black, but I didn't want to use black. I wanted to use brown, or a brown color. So here's my flower. And I will stamp the leaf. Hi Melanie, hi Pia and Heather. Looking over to see who else is joining me during this fun lunchtime when we can't really get together. Let's see. There's my other leaf. So, one of the suggestions yesterday when I asked for ideas was show me how you can make, give your papers an antique look. So one of the things that I'm going to do, I started right here. I have a little sponge dauber, my espresso ink, and what I'm going to do, because I don't really like just that plain white edge, I'm going to just go around the edges of that with my sponge dauber. So you can tell it really makes a difference in what it looks like. I did that one. And I'll do this one. And I'm going to, before I do this one, I'm going to go ahead and color this with my tri-blend marker. And this is just trial and error for me, really. So I use the dark color on these really dark shaded areas right here. Everything that was dark shade. So I'll do all of those first. And then you can see there's another shaded area that is not quite so dark. This area right here. And I'll do it with the medium color. And if you're wondering, there's really no rhyme or reason to why I chose to do it this way. I just did. Play around. I love the tri-blend markers. I love these more than the Shinhan markers that we had before. I feel like they are so much easier to blend and color with. And maybe it's because each marker has 3 colors on it, from a really dark shade to a light shade. So it makes it easy. And I'm going to go ahead and color this white in with the same color. So that everything, so now I have a peach rose. Now, the other thing I did is we have this new peach shimmer brush, and I'm going to go over all the really dark places with the shimmer. I love our shimmer brushes. And we just keep getting more and more colors. I know in the new catalog, if you actually have the catalog, you've probably seen the toffee shimmer brush. If you've only looked online, I'm sure it's not showing because that is one of our products that got stuck over in China when this virus first broke out. So hopefully we'll still get that. I'm going to hold this up. And let's see. I have to wait for my iPad to catch up. Hi, Jonna. Let's see. See if you can catch the shimmer a little bit. Maybe. I'm not sure. Can y'all see that? A little bit. Okay. All right. Oh, so let's go around the edge of this. So you can see a difference before I go around the edge. I think it makes a difference. And because I'm doing this on these pieces, I want to do my papers too. So even this paper that already has this little antique old look to it, you'll really see a difference. And I'm just doing the edges. There's a lot of ways that you can use a sponge dauber. You can do, see, I'm just barely going over the edges, but if you hold your sponge dauber up more on top of the paper, you can see that you get more ink. You'll, rather than just the edges. And even though this is dark, I'm still going to do this too, because I'll do top and the side, so you can see the difference in this, the way that looks and the way the unfinished edge looks. If you've been crafting for a while and scrapbooking for a while, you know that there was a time, that's all we did was inked the edges of everything. I always ink in the edges before we put everything together. And then all of a sudden that kind of stopped. But I feel like we're kind of starting to go back to that. See, can you see the difference in the way the edge looks when you use a sponge dauber? And I'm going to go ahead and do, this is my French vanilla piece that I'm going to stamp on, this one. And you can see I'm getting a little bit more ink. It gives it a little bit funny, fuzzy look. There you go. I hope this is showing up for y'all. I don't know how that's coming out. And I'll do the peach. Now when I cut my French vanilla piece of cardstock, I didn't leave a 1/4 inch edge around like you normally do, because really I just wanted a little bit of the peach to show. So it's more like 1/8 of an inch. So, I'm not going to stamp on that yet. So if I put these pieces on here like this, and it goes like this, I'm using a white card base, which, you know, that looks okay, the white card base, but I decide I want to antique that a little bit. So rather than using the sponge dauber this time, I'm going to use a sponge. Just dab it on the ink pad and then just dab it on the card. I only need to do a little bit of the edge because only about a 1/2 inch of the edge shows. So then you can see how different that makes that look. Does that show up? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and glue my pieces down. Jonna, this is espresso ink. My pad's dirty. Z2829 espresso. It is the darkest brown ink that we have. So I'm going to use my little mat as a guide here and leave about there we go. Get that straight. And then let's see. Yes, this piece went next. Just centering everything. I really like this side of the paper too. So if you didn't want to go really dark, you could use that side and toffee ink if you want. And let's see. Let me go ahead and glue this piece on. And I think I'm going to use with Heartfelt Sympathy. Let's see. And because I'll have my flowers on here, I do know I need to make it to the side a little bit. Season my stamp, just in case you didn't know about that. When your stamps are brand new, rub it on your arm and it'll take the ink a little more solid for the first time. Get my sponge here. This is a pretty stamp. My little stamp chamois. Wipe that off. And then Sympathy. Hi, Sue. Thank you for joining. I tell you what, I'm going to get a lot of crafting done if I'm home every single day. Okay, let's see. Let's do this one about right there. Okay. And ready to stick this one on. Let's see. This about right here. And I'm going to put this one flat rather than pop it up because I'm going to pop up my flowers instead. And let's see how I want to do this. Just like to, I usually just kind of play around with placement before I actually put anything down. So if I do it like that, I'm looking at this and thinking, okay, this one's on the top, so I'm going to use the thickest foam under that one. My leaves, I'm actually going to adhere those right down without using any foam. Take those two off. And then this one. Okay, and let's see. I have some thin foam. I'll put under the one flower. Hi, Leslie. Got another Leslie on joining. Okay. And then, do y'all have these shaker window foams? Look, I've been saving mine. I love it. I love it that I've got these. This one's the thicker one. Actually, I used the thick on that one. How did I do that? Save that one for later. Picked up the wrong one. There we go. And I dug around, I found some gold gems. So let's put, this is my biggest dilemma. Do y'all have this problem? Where to put a gem? I do. Let's put this one here. Just kind of have to play around with them till I find something I like. So there's like a triangle. So there we go. That is our lunchtime learning card for today. And oh, before I stop, we have a brand new, if you have not seen it, with Heartfelt Sympathy stamp. And I love this. I've been asking and asking for sentiments for inside the card, and so finally. So this one says, those we love can never be more than a thought away. For as long as there's a memory, they live in our hearts to stay. At this difficult time, I wish I could take all this pain and sorrow from you, but For now, I will offer my hand to hold and my shoulder to lean upon. Wishing you peace and comfort, the courage to face the days ahead, and loving memories to hold forever in your heart. So may you find comfort in memories, strength and support of those who you care, and hope in each new day, those who care. Okay. Thank you for your kind expression of sympathy at a time when it was most needed. So look, that's a thank you card. So that is great. I just now realized that. So those times when we need to send out thank you cards for, you know, everybody that did something for us. That's a great one. So I'll stamp one of these in this card, and I just wanted to point this out because I love this. It's so hard to think of what to write so many times when you have to send a sympathy card, and the outside of your card you create special for somebody, maybe just beautiful, but then inside you just, what do you say? So it makes it hard. So that really helps. So if you're looking for those kind, you might want to put that one on your list with heartfelt sympathies. So again, thank you for joining me, everybody. It's almost time. Now I'll finish my sandwich, and then I'll go back to work. So I hope everybody is staying safe, staying in, and taking care of yourself, and doing that social distancing that we are all so fond of right now in day 2 already. So join me back here tomorrow, 11:45, and I'll have something else to share. And don't forget to comment if you want to see something in particular, and I'll try to get to it. Thank you, everybody.